I'm back! University has finished. For good. 4 years is done. That's crazy. I started this channel right before I started first year of university, and now I finished university. It's really weird. This year has been really busy, really difficult, so much fun. I just can't believe this year is done. I can't believe these past 4 years are done. It's weird. Right now, I want to show you some of the books that I've read over the past couple of months. If you follow me on Goodreads, you will know that I have been reading over this past year. I've set myself a Goodreads challenge, which I'm trying to keep up with, but I have been absent from YouTube for quite a while, and I'm really sorry about that. Today, things will be changing, and I want to start by showing you some of the books that I've read over the past couple of months. The first book I have here is The Sin Eater's Daughter by Melinda Salisbury. This book I actually got at the BookTube meetup in Nottingham, and it was a really fun day. I got to see some of my old friends, I got to meet new people, and we bought so many books. Shah over at Shah Frizz actually recommended this book to me, so thank you, Shah, because oh my god, this book was so good. It was so good. So good, guys. So good. It was fast paced, it was action packed, I loved the characters. I read this book so quickly because I just could not put it down, and I loved the romance in this because it was actually relevant to the plot and it had a purpose, and it was done in a really clever way, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. You're going to have to read the book and find out. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it. Next I read Hes Ghost by Vera Brosgol. This is a graphic novel, and yet again I loved it. It was fantastic. I really love the artwork in this. Like, for example, here's some of it. I love the tones and the colours that are used, the blues and blacks and whites, which really set the tone and the theme of the book. This book also covers some really heavy subject matter like body image and immigration, but it has this overarching ghost story theme to it as well, which really makes the content accessible. And it surprised me that it would have these subjects in there. I like the way they were handled. I give this 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I didn't like this book too much particularly. The beginning was really good and I really liked the premise, and when I first picked up the book and I read the first chapter, I thought it would be a book that I would really love because I was very impressed by the way it began. But as I went into the book, it sort of lost its excitement for me, and by the end I didn't particularly care about the storyline anymore. I got a bit bored. I'd heard mixed things about it. Some people love it, some people don't like it, but the premise seemed like something I would love, so that's why I picked it up. I don't know whether my expectations were too high for it, I'm not sure. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Next I read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, and this book was so good. It covered so many themes that I've studied at university, that I've encountered personally, all things to do with culture and language, miscommunication, but because it's set in space, you're not just dealing with different countries, you're dealing with different planets, with different species. So it really opens up the wider debate of what is culture, how are cultural differences formed. I loved the story, I loved the characters. I loved hearing about all the different aliens and learning about their lives. If you're looking for a fiction read, but a very smart read that delves into subject matters and makes you think slightly differently about things, I would definitely pick this up. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's really worth the read. Then I read When We Were Collided by Emery Lord. I liked this book. I thought it was really good. It was a nice contemporary read. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't fantastic. I'm not going to rush out there and tell you to read it, but I did really enjoy it, and I think if you're looking for a nice contemporary book, it is a nice book to read. I found some parts of this very refreshing for a young adult contemporary read. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I read The Giver by Lois Lowry. This book is actually a reread. I first read it on my Kindle, loved it, wanted a physical copy, so I picked it up as a physical copy. Obviously gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I'm sure a lot of you have read it by now. If you haven't read it, what are you doing? Go and read it. It's fantastic. It's very unique. it's got a very interesting premise. The world building in it is fantastic. Like I said, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Next I read Anna and the Swallow Man by Gabrielle Savit. This book was rather intriguing. It wasn't what I was expecting. The characters were very mysterious and difficult to read at times. I wasn't sure exactly what some of their motives were, and that led to a bit of confusion in the book, but I really enjoyed it. I liked the mysterious characters at times because I felt they added to the tone of the book and to the storyline, and it was interesting to kind of figure out for yourself what their motives were and what they were doing. But other times it made the story unclear, and I'm not sure whether that was meant to be on purpose or by accident. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I read An Education by Nick Hornby. This is actually the screenplay. I was in the mood to pick up a script and read it because I started doing research into script writing. I love this film, and I found that the screenplay had actually been released, so I decided to buy it online, and it was actually a really cool surprise because it's signed by Nick Hornby himself. So that was a nice surprise to get through the mail. I loved this. It was really good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And finally, I read a book which was actually a bit of a change for me, but I heard about it and it sounded so interesting, so I really wanted to pick it up. And that is Quiet by Susan Cain. I don't know if you can see, but its title's in white and the cover's in white, and I love this cover. It's so pretty and it's really clever as well. This is a non-fiction book. It's a scientific book about introvertism. Is that even a word? Introvertism. About being an introvert and being an extrovert, but it mainly focuses on being an introvert. The tagline is "The power of introverts in a world that can't stop talking," and it's about how being an introvert can actually make you a very good leader, a very good boss, and it's almost like a superpower that some people have. But what I like about this book is it goes into the scientific details about it, and every comment made is backed up with scientific evidence and experiments that have been done. It breaks down any myths that are put on these two terms, and it really makes you feel quite empowered actually. So I'd say if you're an introvert, I would really recommend you pick this up. It's quite fascinating just what your body does and what goes on, and how much of it can we control and how much of it can't we control. That's another factor that's discussed in the book. Definitely pick this up. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So those are some of the books I've read these past couple of months. Let me know if you've read any of them in the comments below, and if you have, what do you think of them? I hope to be back with another video really soon. So until then, I hope you're well, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!